Hello, this is Paul Hosch. I'm the CEO of Nonprofit Fundraising Management, where our mission is to help Black ministries thrive through modern fundraising. And today we're exploring why Black churches need modern fundraising. Here's a question for you. Did you know that most churches raise 80% of their funds from only 20% of their congregants? It's true. Understanding this important dynamic could transform how your church fundraisers in the future. But don't worry, we'll dive into this important concept a little bit deeper into the video. And stick around to the end because I've included a very short quiz that will help you retain this important information. But don't worry, it's just for fun. Well, the next obvious question is, what is modern fundraising? Well, modern fundraising is building diverse revenue streams that aligns with your mission and values. It's not just about collecting weekly offerings. It's about engaging people at every level and giving them opportunities to give in meaningful ways. Here are some key components to modern fundraising. Number one, individual giving. This is the cornerstone of any modern fundraising strategy. Depending on the ministry, this includes individuals at certain giving levels. So sometimes you may start at $250 of how much they give on an annual basis, maybe $500, maybe $1,000 and above. But the thing to remember is you're asking them individually to give a gift. Individual giving is the basis for all other advanced asks. So individual giving is the through line that goes through all of the modern fundraising. By doing this, you build strong relationships, which ensures the individuals feel connected and inspired to support the church's mission. Number two, designated funds. These allow donors to give to specific causes like the food bank, after-school program, homeless shelters. Designated funds give donors a sense of ownership and connection to the church's work. For example, $1,000 might fund a youth program or community outreach. And remember, this is beyond their weekly gift, so you're asking for $1,000 on top of what they already give. Major giving. This is where you develop relationships with high-capacity donors who can make transformative gifts. Imagine one donor funding a scholarship program or covering the annual cost of maintenance for your building. Number five, foundation giving. This is where you secure grants through an application process from an organization that shares your vision. They may support things like an after-school program, a food pantry, maybe even a homeless shelter. And number six, planned giving. This is where you encourage your congregation to leave the church in their will or estate planning. Think about the impact of one family leaving a legacy gift to sustain your ministry for generations to come. By diversifying your fundraising in these 6 ways, you can build a strong financial foundation that can withstand economic challenges for years and years to come. Now let's talk about the importance of individual giving. Individual giving remains at the heart of modern fundraising for the Black church. It's about more than dollars and cents. It's about building spiritual partnerships between your church and its members. For example, imagine you've built relationships with your top donors and you having the ability to ask them for $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 and above for specific projects that you need to support because you've built these relationships and you're used to asking individuals for individual gifts. That is the essence of individual giving. Asking individuals for individual gifts in a one-on-one situation where you've created a relationship, built a relationship, so you're able to talk candidly about what your mission needs and how they can see themselves helping to support that mission, moving the church forward, supporting the community that you're in. The key to individual giving is engagement through personal thank you letters, quarterly updates, and sharing success stories shows the impact of their generosity. Why Black churches need modern fundraising. Let's dive into why modern fundraising is essential for the Black church. Number one, builds financial stability. Financial stability doesn't happen by chance. It happens by strategy and effort. Let's say the church encourages mid-level donors to give $200 a month. Over a year, that can fund critical programs like after-school program, the food bank, or even general operating and overhead. Number 2, expands community impact. Black churches are not just spiritual homes. They are lifelines for the community. A well-designed foundation grant could fund an after-school program or a homeless shelter. These are things that are directly needed in the community, not just the church. Number 3, reinforces a giving culture. A culture of generosity flourishes when individuals see the direct impact of their generosity. For example, setting up designated funds for, say, the food bank, after-school programs allows donors to see exactly how their generosity is making an impact. And at Nonprofit Fundraising Management, we specialize in helping Black ministries implement these strategies. The 80-20 rule that I mentioned earlier, sometimes called the Pareto Principle, it states that 20% of your gifts will give 80% of the funding. So what that means is you should focus from a fundraising point of view on your top 20% of your donors because they're giving you 80% of your funds. You don't have the bandwidth to cover everybody the same way when it comes to fundraising. Spiritually, treat everyone the same way, but from a fundraiser's point of view, focus most of your attention on your top 20% of your donors because, again, they're giving you 80% of the funding that's coming into your church. If you don't believe me, run the numbers. I guarantee you I'm correct. And that right there is a powerful piece of knowledge because it allows you to focus on the things you need to focus on in terms of fundraising and let the other things go until you're able to get to those things. So focus most of your attention on your top 20% of your donors in terms of the things that we went over in this video. And before I wrap this up, I'm going to include the quiz that I promised to help you retain this information. Number 1, what are the 3 components to modern fundraising? Question number 2, how can individual giving serve as the foundation of a church's stability? Question number 3, why is the 80-20 rule critical in church fundraising? And number 4, what's one way to celebrate a major donor's contribution? Drop your answers in the comments below, and I'll personally try to respond to as many of them as I can. Let's work together to ensure Black ministries thrive for generations to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.